is a Citizens Forum. We held another presser on the day before yesterday, if I'm correct, where we announced that we're going to petition several organizations such as Crisis in Zimbabwe Coalition, Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights, Zimbabwe Media Commission, Ministry of Labor and Public Service, Social Welfare, British Embassy, and the United States of America Embassy. So we are here to update you on how far we have gone to this day. The first thing that I want to make clear to you is that Citizens Forum is not in any way an extension of any of the political parties. It is not a political movement. It is not driven by any political ambition. We are driven and guided by the will to see a united Zimbabwe, to see a Zimbabwe outside political outfits, to assist in any way that we can to address bread and butter issues, which is a problem for all. This is a political party in Ovamu. This is us as Citizens Forum. So, for those who might think we are an extension of a certain political party, get it from me, we are not. Now I am updating you on the areas or organizations we petitioned and managed to deliver our petitions. We submitted our petition to the Parliament of Zimbabwe, and the receipt is here. You can take pictures. We do not have copies, so we advise you to take pictures even after. You can have it. This is submission and the confirmation. You done? Okay, thank you. We also handed over our petition to the Judicial Service Commission. Here. To the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare. To the Zimbabwe Media Commission, then we also we have a scanned document we also delivered to the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights. We have the copy. We'll give you or to send you on your phone because we can't see the hard copy, but they signed. We also submitted to the American Embassy, and we had a challenge there. They denied to give us confirmation of receiving the letter, but we can safely say we handed over the petition to them for whatsoever reasons. They didn't want us to have evidence for confirmation. At the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights, we went there, and they started somehow like probing us, thinking that we're an extension of a certain political party. I have their screenshot here. They updated on Facebook that they are under threat. We just went there and handed over our petition outside the gate peacefully. To our surprise, they posted that they were under threat. These are the lawyers we have in Zimbabwe. These are the kind of lawyers who can't distinguish between exercising a constitutional right and a threat. These are kind of lawyers who represent hooligans and thugs in the courts of law and mistaken peaceful people for hooligans. We don't know the extent of hooliganism or threat, but we just handed off a petition to them. We also have videos we'll send you. We shot videos as we were handing over the petition. There was nothing to call a threat. However, they've already started selling a story to their handlers that they were threatened. So it's up to Zimbabwe to know the kind of people Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights are. On the sorry.
Okay, I just want to add more flesh on the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights issue. I think it's also wise for Zimbabweans to know the kind of reception we had when we visited them. For some reasons, I don't know why they chose to meet us on the streets, but for lack of a better term, or that's what they chose to call the entrance of our offices. You are not allowed to get inside. I don't know why they chose to give us such kind of reception, or maybe that's the norm with the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights. But either way, we managed to deliver our petition. The same goes to the American Embassy. I don't know if they still believe in the old narrative during the colonial era, where Africans and black people in particular were classified as barbarians and animals, because the kind of reception we had there is nothing close to what you'd expect from a fellow human being. Our own black brothers, fellow black men, the safeguard from the Safeguard Security, which is their private security company, they gave us a very warm and welcome reception, but then you could tell even from their eyes that there is a protocol which they are supposed to follow. And what followed then, when a representative from the American embassy came, it's something that I cannot even explain in my own eyes. But then we do not lose hope. We encourage the American government to take into consideration the plight of the Zimbabwean people. We are not here to fight. We don't want to fight, which is why we permitted them to build a multi-million-dollar embassy. I'm sure you'd agree with me that the American embassy does not only have one establishment here in Harare. We have another section here, a few meters from here by the East Gate. We also have an old American embassy somewhere in Harare, and the new one. So that alone speaks volume about what Zimbabweans are and what we stand for. And the same goes to the British Embassy in Harare. We delivered our petition on the 6th of February. Of course, we had a few glitches, but we are proud and we welcome the kind of reception we had from the staff. And this is the only response which we have had so far from all the petitions we have delivered. We received this response from the British government rather, and it's addressed to me. I'm the one who delivered it in the company of my fellow brothers and sisters. And it reads, "Dear Mr. Lonius Roji, I was pleased to meet you on Wednesday when you came to the embassy to deliver a petition on behalf of the Citizens Forum. You asked whether the UK government would apologize for Lord Palmer's derogatory colonial statement in the House of Lords last month. Like you, we find any suggestion of recolonizing Zimbabwe offensive. We would never condone this view. Indeed, we unreservedly reject it. However, it would not be appropriate for the UK government to apologize on Lord Palmer's behalf. Lord Palmer is not a member of the UK government, nor of any party in government. All UK citizens have the freedom to say what they want, provided what they say is not illegal. I would be happy to meet you again to hear your views on the current situation in Zimbabwe and discuss any further concerns that you may have. Sincerely yours, Calvin Duff, Political Section. So this is the only response which we have received so far from all the petitions we've been delivering for the past few days.
Yeah, as he has just said, the British Embassy or the British government has officially responded. Their response, in fact, we welcome their response, since they've made it clear that they do not have an agenda to recolonize Zimbabwe. It's not their government position. Now with this pressure, we can't do away with the issue of the ongoing dialogue efforts that are being put together by the authorities here in Zimbabwe. I am saying this in line with the response for the British Embassy. They have said they are ready to discuss with us, but not us as individuals. When they discuss with us, they are discussing with the citizens of Zimbabwe. We welcome the idea of dialogue, especially coming from the ruling party. We do not have any problem with that. There might be issues surrounding that, but what we want to see is an implementation of that initiative. So we are saying to all other governments and entities and organizations that have interest in affairs of Zimbabwe to support, to encourage all the political parties that participated in the July elections to come on board and discuss. For us, the civic society, you know, we stand for peace, we stand for unity, we stand for togetherness. This is what we have been fighting for all along. Ever since the civic society organizations were established, they've been fighting for peace, they've been fighting for tolerance. So now we don't want to be seen as fools in the civic society to start to fight what we have been fighting for. We have been fighting for dialogue, we have been fighting for negotiations. The current, the ongoing dialogue must be supported by the civic society. As we are addressing here, we are organizing to have all civic society organizations here in Zimbabwe to have a national meeting where we will meet authorities of this land. If there is any civic society organization that has an input to the ongoing dialogue or a proposal, that must be done formally, because the dialogue is being done formally. The address of the venue for dialogue was issued formally, such that we avoid Nicodemus meetings. We avoid Nicodemus kind of gatherings to either preempt the ongoing process or to influence a bad outcome. It can be said news on the other side that some civic society organizations have been surviving on divisions, have been surviving on disunity. But now we are saying, for the purposes of Zimbabweans, everyone must stand down and feed into the narrative of unity, unity of purpose, unity which is constitution-based, which is constitution-centered. To show love to Zimbabwe, or love for our country, Zimbabwe, we also want our friends, the embassies, the civic society organizations, to learn to call a spade a spade. When they have guts to say this one is wrong, when the other one is wrong as well, they must be saying it. Furthermore, prior to the previous skirmishes that happened, we received reports and were supplied with a video from Chitungwiza, where a certain man who is alleged to be a member of parliament from the MDC alliance, if not mistaken, was yet encouraging people to demonstrate. And he said to them, if it happens that any one of you is hungry and you see an open shop, you go there, take whatever you want, you eat, then you pay later. So the people of Chitungwiza, some with a business that were looted, now need to know the address to submit their bills, and when will the bills be serviced. So by that we are saying, simply saying, as we move on as citizens, we are like discovering the trouble causers, and they are not yet thieves because they haven't supplied the address to submit bills and the period to pay up those bills. All this we are doing, this is the foundation or the basis of dialogue. Dialogue must satisfy everybody, including those from churches. Like we have some churches who do not vote, but they must benefit from the ongoing dialogue because everyone in Zimbabwe wants peace. So this is what we have. And on the request from the British Embassy for us to meet them, we shall be notifying you as we move on.
I think just as a parting shot, I'll add on to what my colleague here said. As Zimbabweans, as ordinary citizens, we actually encourage all stakeholders and political parties to take this national dialogue very seriously. I'll refer you to a quote in which one of the political players in Zimbabwe mentioned a few months ago or weeks. It's Mr. Nelson Chamisa. I was so touched by that post when he called for the president, or Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa, he invited him rather for a meeting and a dialogue so that Zimbabwe as a nation can move forward and resolve all the socio-economic problems that the nation is encountering or going through. So I actually urge the MDC president, in as much as I'll urge other political players to ride on this wave, to take advantage of this platform which has been created for political players to come together and for civilians as well and all citizens of Zimbabwe to put heads together, take off the political jacket and work together. Let's work together as a nation to make sure that we will not have more deaths, we will not have more people suffering due to the skirmishes which we have been experiencing of late. And also to the international community, we for some reasons would like to believe that this gesture shown by the British Embassy is a sign that you are willing to listen to us citizens and even the political players as well equally, and see on how best you can re-engage our nation and how best you can ensure that Zimbabwe as a nation does not stay in isolation for long, because we've seen and we all have witnessed it for the past 19 years that we are going nowhere.
Yeah, and on the Crisis Coalition, I update you, they are no longer here. I don't know if they ran away the day we issued a presser. They no longer have an office here. We went to where we knew they were best to hand over the petition. We were told they are no longer there. They are now operating in South Africa. And they responded through a certain organization, Youth blah blah Studio 7, which is not an official response. And they were inviting us for a dialogue with them to say we understand people looted, we understand shops were broken, we understand human rights were abused, but come and discuss. So we are just saying to them, the issue is not between them and us, it is between them and the citizens of Zimbabwe. In that audio, it sounded like they acknowledged, they admitted that they caused the skirmishes. So very soon we will be writing to the authorities in South Africa to say these people did not leave our country in peace. They caused a lot of damages in our country. Now they are in your country, they can do the same. So we engage the South African authorities, and as you have seen, the British Embassy has responded, and the South African Embassy has also responded. Then to you, our journalists, the British Embassy has come out clear that it is against machinations against our country. If, however, they are still doing it, they might be doing it clandestinely, but we will tie them down with their response. It simply means our submissions for the national agenda they are going to support. And now we will write to them to say they must call to order loose politicians, those people who sacrifice the lives of the people for their political gains. So ask them to write, to address in persons. We know the people. However, we also note that there are reports of prior to the skirmishes that happened, and the reports produced so far are one-sided. As Citizens Forum, we are compiling a report with audio, with video, and a written report that will submit to the SADC, to the AU, to the UN, and to anyone else who is interested in the issues of Zimbabwe. So we'll also update you on that one. I think, and to the American government as well, even though we petitioned them. But we also want them to give an official advice on Zimbabwe, rather than to only be issuing statements when something bad has happened, or something they assume bad has happened. We call them to be giving us official, to address the situation in Zimbabwe in form of giving advices, formal advice and official advice, such that the Zimbabwean government decides to take or not, in case punitive measures by them will be imposed, there is a point of reference to say, we advised this. So we challenge them also to give advice to Zimbabwe, and not only punitive measures, and not only threats, and not only other bad things, but advice, especially to the young men, so that we as young men can benefit together with him. That's all that we have. If there are questions.
From the tone of your press conference, saying that we'll demand that, how does that fit in the narrative of peace and dialogue? And also, on whose authority are you standing? It looks like, in my opinion, it seems like there's a force behind you. There's some sort of power behind you.
Oh, sorry, let me take that one. I'm sure this is not the first time we're meeting. The first time we met, you were right beside me, beside the old lady who sat at that corner, and you requested to interview her, if you remember. And this room was pegged not only by journalists, but by people whom you ended up mistaking as activists. We actually came here with quite a number of people from various corners of Zimbabwe, and those are the people we are representing. But because of our call to be a bit civil and abide by the house rules, we saw it fit to come here as representatives in the same way that we went to deliver the